Have you ever wondered where the world's truly massive fortunes are hidden? I'm not talking about a few million in a Swiss bank account. I'm talking about billions, maybe even trillions, tucked away in vaults so secret, so well disguised, they might as well be on another planet. These aren't the gold-filled rooms you see in movies. These are the world's largest secret vaults, and they've been intentionally hidden from you. But how can something so massive, so valuable, remain completely invisible to the public eye? It seems impossible, right? Well, the truth is far more shocking than you can imagine. Let's dive into the backstory. For decades, megacorporations and families with old, dynastic wealth have been masters of a very particular art form, the art of making things look complicated. All of this wealth is technically documented. You can find traces of it in public records, in shareholder reports, in complex legal filings that stretch for thousands of pages. But that's the trick. It's intentionally designed to be a labyrinth. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle where every piece is written in a different language, and half the pieces are missing. That's what they've created. The key players in this game are names you've probably never heard. They aren't the flashy billionaires on magazine covers. These are the quiet architects of finance, the lawyers, the accountants, the wealth managers who operate in the shadows. They create shell corporations within shell corporations, nested like Russian dolls across dozens of countries. They use legal loopholes so obscure that only a handful of people in the world even know they exist. The goal isn't just to avoid taxes, it's to create a system where ownership becomes so diluted, so fractured, that tracing anything back to a single source is a Herculean task. It's not illegal, it's just impossibly complex by design. The paper trail is a mile long, but it leads you in a perfect circle, right back to where you started, with more questions than answers. Now, let's build the suspense. Every so often, someone stumbles upon a thread. It might be a diligent auditor working late at night, a curious financial journalist, or an academic researcher who notices a statistical anomaly that just doesn't add up. They start pulling on this thread, and for a moment they think they're onto something big. They find references to these vaults, but the files are heavily redacted. Black lines cover the most important details. They encounter encrypted digital records that would take a supercomputer years to crack. They find addresses for these vaults that lead to abandoned warehouses, empty office buildings, or sometimes just a post office box in a tiny island nation. Imagine the psychological impact. It's a real-life treasure hunt, but the map is written in invisible ink, and the treasure is guarded by an army of lawyers. These researchers spend months, sometimes years, chasing ghosts through a paper maze. They feel the thrill of the chase, the adrenaline rush of thinking they're about to expose one of the world's biggest secrets. They get close enough to smell the money, but they can never quite touch it. The system is designed to exhaust you, to make you question your own sanity. Just when you think you found a solid lead, it dissolves into thin air, leaving you feeling frustrated and defeated. This isn't a physical fortress, it's a fortress of bureaucracy and complexity. And here comes the twist, the part that will change how you see wealth and power forever. After all that searching, what if I told you that most of these vaults don't physically exist? At least not in the way we imagine them. There aren't giant rooms filled with gold bars or stacks of cash. The vault is an idea, a legal and financial construct that exists only on paper. The real secret isn't hiding the money. The real secret is that the money was never hidden in the first place. It's been right there in plain sight the entire time. The true vault is the complexity itself. The real control comes from managing public perception, not from hiding the truth. Think about it. The documents are public, but they're so convoluted that 99.9% of people will never even try to understand them. The financial reports are available, but they're filled with jargon and footnotes designed to confuse, not clarify. Even when a journalist or a researcher manages to decipher a piece of the puzzle and publishes their findings, what happens? Most people ignore it. The story is too complicated. It doesn't have a simple villain or a clear-cut hero. It's just a messy, boring story about finance and law. The system has created a perfect defense. It makes the truth so mind-numbingly dull that nobody has the patience to listen. This brings us to the final, chilling lesson. True power doesn't need to hide the truth. True power ensures the truth is so overwhelmingly complex, so buried in noise and irrelevant detail, that most people simply won't notice it. The greatest trick the wealthy ever pulled wasn't convincing the world their vaults didn't exist, but convincing the world that looking for them was too much effort. It's not about locks and keys, it's about apathy and attention spans. The treasure is out in the open, but we've been conditioned to look the other way, distracted by simpler, more entertaining stories. The real vault is in our own minds. Thank you so much for watching. If this made you think, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the secrets that shape our world. See you in the next video.